What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott. And as you can see, we have a different background right now. I'm going through a moving process to Boise. Well, I am in Boise, but I'm moving in. And your background right now is going to be a thermostat. So I'm really sorry. But as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about how to get out of the friend zone, why you were in there, what are guys thinking, and you're probably asking, can I actually get out of it? Okay. So before we get started, if you're having trouble with men, if either they're pulling away or having a hard time commit, please subscribe to the channel. Just click the red button and the bell below. I got your answers, okay? Trust me, I got 200 something videos. There's only more coming, okay? So jumping right in, we are going to talk about how to, actually first, I want to mention, can you actually get out of it, okay? And I'm going to say for a majority of you, hell yeah, you can easily get out of it because what you think is the friend zone probably isn't really the friend zone, okay? Like if just because you're friends with a guy doesn't mean you're in the friend zone. The friend zone is for women who he sees as a non-sexual object. 100% you're a lamp, you're a piece of paper, whatever's non-sexual, right? That's what he sees you as, okay? But you can still get out of that. I know, because it happened to me before. Let me give you a great example. There's this girl, I hope she doesn't see this because she'll beat my ass, okay? But there was this girl back in 8th, 9th grade that was a good friend of mine. She was a good friend. I've only seen her as a friend, right? And it wasn't until, and she wanted to date really bad, right? She really wanted to date me. I don't know why. I had acne up covered, and I wore the same shirt every day. I had acne covering my face. I was raunchy. I was a raunchy looking guy. But she wanted to date. I said no. We still hung out in the same, friend group and things like that. So I seen her every day, and she grew on me as a friend, okay? But she was persistent with it. Now, I'm not saying you need to be persistent or consistent with it and keep on asking and keep on trying, but she did. It's different when you're in 8th grade, 9th grade, and you're hanging out with a group of, same group of friends. Well, she went to South Carolina one day, or not one day, on a trip to, the summer. Or she spent her summer in South Carolina. And she wrote in my yearbook all these nice things to me, blah, 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 blah. And so, I would look through the yearbook the 3-4 months she was gone for the summer, and I was scanning, I'm like, oh, look at her. She says nice things. We're such good friends. We're such good friends. And let me tell you what she used to look like before, okay? And this makes me sound really superficial. If you want to unsubscribe because of it, I totally understand. It makes me sound like a piece of shit. Like I don't deserve her, okay? But she had a unibrow. Her body was flat as day-old beer. She looked like, her mom dressed her. She had pants all the way up to here. She just didn't wear the right clothes. I mean, it just didn't look flattering on her, right? She was a good girl, but she looked like she cut her own hair and things like that. Well, I remember one day sitting out with my friends in the parking lot, right? Just goofing around, playing catch, doing whatever. And I remember seeing her white van coming down the driveway, right? Down the long driveway, down the road, to go, to her place. And so I beamed over there. I beamed right over there. So, and I was waiting for her to get out. She had the, the dark window, the tinted window, so I couldn't see. And again, I didn't know what to expect. So she opens the door, and I'm like, woo, 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 woo. I'm like, wow. She looked 250% different. She had an older cousin, I believe, who was in college, who probably helped her out. And, her hair was cut, really nice cut, shaped her body, or shaped her face. Her body developed in 3 or 4 months. I was like, wow, that's impressive. As an 8th, 9th grade guy, that's something you like, you pay attention to. She changed her style. She got rid of that She looked really, really good. And I was just like, oh my God. She jumped from friend zone to dateable, to girlfriend material. Now, let me tell you why. It's not just the fact that she looked good. to be girlfriend material, you have to have the sexual tension, the sexual vibe, the sex appeal. You have to have that. If you don't, then you might as well be one of his boys, right? There's nothing different. You have to have the sexual tension, sexual vibe, sex appeal, and things like that. And then you have to have the chemistry, rapport, communication, so on and so forth. So adding those two things together gets you girlfriend status. Now, she had the rapport, the communication, the chemistry, stuff like that. We got along great. She was awesome to talk to. She was awesome to hang out with. But I just did not see her as a sexual being. And I know that sounds really objectifying, but hey, attraction's not a choice. This isn't something it's not, you can't, please don't get mad at a guy for this. Like, he can't just wake up one day, snap his fingers and say, you know what, I'm gonna cut my sexual attraction out and I'm only going to like a girl for her personality. That's just not how it works from an evolutionary perspective. And again, no matter how much you fight it, you look at people all day, every day, and you talk to people, and we're just attracted to looks. I mean, are looks everything? Absolutely not. And I think personality can make the looks. My example was just an extreme, dramatic example as an 8th grader who had no experience with women and was going through hormones. I was going hormone crazy, okay? So that's a very, very dramatic story. However, you do have to have some type, it doesn't even have to be looks. It just has to be a sexual or physical attraction, chemistry, tension, and then you have to have the communication, rapport, personality, and things like that. If you have both those things, then you're going to jump out of it, okay? So how do you actually do that without, let's say, changing your looks? I always say, well, I can give you the harsh way and the easy way. The harsh way that no one's going to do is you tell them straight up how you feel, you demand, you draw a line in the sand, demand what you want, and say, hey, I really like you. I know we've been friends for a long time. I should have said something sooner. I know this probably puts you in an awkward situation. And again, I know you're not going to say this. You don't have to say it like I'm saying it right now. But, and just tell them, but you know what? I like you. It's eating me up inside. I don't want to be, friends anymore. I want to see where this will go. Again, don't have to say it like that. That's very direct. What I'm basically saying is drawing a line in the sand. So when he does turn you down, you say, well, that's fine, but you know what? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever, okay? You can do it like that. But if you're actually really good friends, then you just I think you need to tell him how you feel, because it's better to get it out in the open anyway. That's what I personally believe. And if he says, again, this is if you're good friends, and if he says no, then that's fine. You're good friends. Go back to being friends. At least he knows how you feel, okay? But the other thing to do, which is what I did when I was friend zoned before, was not only try to become more physically appealing and attractive, but kind of force them in a way to see you as a sexual, or create sexual tension, physical attraction, things like that. Trying to get them to see you in a different light. And the way I did it was when I was talking to the girl who was my friend, she friend zoned me. I made it sound like I just tried to be more masculine. So a woman needs to try to be more feminine, right? I just tried to be more masculine. I tried to give it more of a I don't give a shit attitude, not towards her, just more of a bad boy. And I know you can't see me as a bad boy with a man bun and big ass ears, but trust me, I was a badass, but I just talked about other girls. Like, I asked her opinion, and this might not work for again. You have to test the waters, and you have to take the chance. There's nothing to lose because you're friend zoned. So what I personally did was like, hey, me and Sally, we're flirting last night. You try, or ask her about sexual. I just talked to her a lot about as if she was one of my boys, and I talked, about other girls, not in a demeaning way, but like, hey, I like Sally. What do you think of Sally? Or, or by the way, Sally and I made out. Again, not just gossip, like you're gossiping to a friend, but you're being more physical with it. And that got her to see me in a different light. Listen, you're always going to be in the friend zone if you don't have the chemistry. You can forget everything else I said. You're always going to be in the friend zone if you don't have the chemistry and the sexual attraction. You have to create both of those. It doesn't matter how far you're in the friend zone. Now, he might think, I'm not sure, man. This is really weird. I just feel like we'd be better off if we don't do that. then okay, if that's the case, and that's fine, you got to respect that. But remember, as I said before, attraction's not a choice, okay? He can flip. However, you have to respect him when he says, I don't know, this feels weird, this feels odd. You know, just like if two friends mess around and it's really weird, like don't force that. That's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to force it. Let it sit in his mind like, oh, hey, we messed around, ha, 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 okay? But at the same time, you have to have those two things: the sexual attention, attraction, whatever you want to call it, sex appeal, and then the physical, or the chemistry, the rapport, the communication. If you have both of those, you can jump out. But it just depends on how good of friends you actually are, and also don't be his friend. And what I mean by that, be his friend, but don't be his emotional rock. Don't sit there and listen to him talk about other girls. Don't sit there and let him vent. Don't sit there and let him treat you like a friend, okay? That's only going to emphasize and reiterate, if that's how you say it, sorry, the fact that he likes you as a friend, that you're just friends. Like the worst thing a guy could, let me give you a great example. Guys do it all the time, and I know this is a 11-minute video, okay, but guys do this all the time. You know, they'll sit there, the nice guy, the doormat, he'll sit there and he'll listen to Susie express her feelings with a guy, or listen to Susie and be there for her when her heart's broken, and be there for Susie when she's not, when Johnny, sorry for these 1950 white people names, but when Johnny, played her, went out with someone else, right? Like she'll like the guy will sit there and be there, her emotional support, her emotional rock, and he's thinking, yeah, she's gonna realize I've always been there for her. She's gonna realize that I'm the nice guy, that she wants to date me. No, she doesn't. Like that just supports the fact that you're a friend, okay? You're not a bad boy. You're not a badass. You're not changing her view or anything. You're stuck. So don't do that. Don't do the mistake that a lot of guys do and be the emotional rock. Do not do that, for the love of God. That will only teach them to treat you the way they have been treating you, okay? So with all that being said, we have almost a 13-minute video. Ladies, I love you. Sorry about the background, but I gotta change it up a little bit. I'm in Boise. If you're in Boise, let me know in the comments below. I know 0 people here. This was just a pick up and move. But with that being said, subscribe. I love you. Take care and peace.